K100 with Conan and Disco is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook and Casino. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up, and place your first $5 bet. Use the code BLEAV, B-L-E-A-V, and you can receive up to $150 in credits. Bet on sports or play casino games, including slots, blackjack, poker, and play whenever and wherever you want. It's fast, easy, and reliable. So support K100 and go enjoy yourself with FanDuel. And once again, use that code BELIEVE for up to $150 in credits after your first $5 bet.
Next is from Big Country from the Discord. The subject is Creative Busted Open. Hello, gentlemen. I hope all is well. It's nice to hear Conan for a few minutes last week. He sounded like he had more energy. I was just glad to hear him. Joe, has WWE contacted you about folding the Critical Control Network into this WWE radio network? I'd like to hear hugely interview Stephanie McMahon about her fart box.
Jesus. That's a no. Oddly enough, I haven't heard anything from WWE. I know that there could have been something that happened like a year ago, but I personally, if I had a vote in it, DI, like if they were like, hey, bring K100 over here, I'd vote no.
I would absolutely not want to do it. Let me tell you why. Okay. I would, if they were offering like more money than we're making, okay, it would have to be like, you would have to match the salary, what we're making now and the salary I make in my other job. Like nice. Combine that and then I would do it, right? Because, dude, I do not want the stress that shit like that brings on you for worried about what you're saying on air.
Right.
I know how to navigate myself through these waters where I'm not getting canceled. I'm not saying, I say things that may offend some people. Who cares the people that I'm offending? And I know how to not cross a line. Usually sometimes it's a lot of stuff that you cross the line with, I'm not interested in talking about, really, right? But I would hate that thing if, like, you have to worry about what you say. You're getting a call. Did you say did that? I'm like, F that.
Yeah.
Like, this is a side gig. You know what I'm saying? So I would not would ever want to work under that type of, like, corporate structure.
Yeah, I know what kind of number they'd have to offer to beat Believe, sponsors, YouTube, Patreon, all that. That's a good little, that's a nice little nest egg put together there. And we split it 3 ways and it's still good, or 4 sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, they'd have to offer. I don't think they realize what the show is worth,
Oh, by the way, where's YouTube this week?
Oh, it's got to clear my PayPal. It should be tonight or tomorrow morning. Yeah.
All right.
It's crap.
But you also have to be a WWE shill too, by the way.
I don't know about that.
Really? You don't think so?
People are assuming that.
Yeah,
okay, but bro, sure. I know. You hear Booker T talk. He's not a WWE shill. I mean, maybe he's willing to talk about things. You know what I'm saying? People just think that, like, like Busted Open now, like AEW's off limits. And I'm like, they're off. I go literally, they just made the switch over like a few days ago. Like, what how many podcasts have they done? Like, how many of them do they normally talk about AEW? They're not just like you're really gonna like they're never, like, AEW shut out of the media, the media talk on the WWE network. They're not even going to talk about them.
And what's supposed to happen? They're supposed to sign other shows to fill space or whatnot. Who are they going to get that doesn't occasionally badmouth WWE? Sometimes, negativity sells a whole lot more. So I can't even. What would they get? Stevie Richards? No. Dutch? No. Like, who would they even sign?
Why not?
Because they're super negative towards WWE.
Well, they're super negative when the product isn't good. Like, we're super, like, bro, our criticism of their product is usually, par for the course of what the numbers are.
Yeah.
Like, when they're doing poorly in attendance and thing, we're critical about the product, but they should be critical about the product too, because their product isn't as good as it was when we were talking well about it, when it was doing well. You know what I'm saying? I don't know people out there that literally just talk bad about it the entire time. Like, is Stevie one of those guys that just badmouths WWE regardless of, like, any type of positive metric they show?
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I mean, it's
YouTube. Oh, he does. So it's because Vince does too.
Yeah, definitely.
Vince is like the total anti. And the funny thing about it is like, it just goes to show, like, like all the shtick that he was doing before we had our falling out. When I was saying, bro, their numbers were better.
Yeah.
So now as our critiques have, like, we've been critical of the product as it's been going down. Because, like, so we were like, so the whole shtick was just like, dude, you were literally, we're talking, because his deal was, Paz, he says you can still make money and still have a bad product.
Right.
Yep. I was like, that's not true. And it wasn't true. It's like they were making money because the product was looked positively by a lot of people.
They were good for 4 years.
Right.
He basically wouldn't admit it. Then the 2 years that they suck, he was like, told you the whole time.
Right,
They suck.
exactly.
Ignoring the 4 years.
Which is a ridiculous argument, way to argue,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
And now his whole shtick about bro, everything that we argued about, he was wrong. Literally every single argument. Because here's another argument we had, okay, that he was completely wrong. Him and Ben were trying to say the reason they're drawing is because they weren't doing house shows. Okay, well, now the attendance is going down. You know, and it started going down before they started doing house shows. They were going down when the numbers were going down on their viewership.
And now they're doing more house shows.
So that was another asinine argument they made up out of nowhere. They're like, oh, well, the only reason they're doing good houses is because of they're, like, not because the product's good. It's because of people think. I'm like, dude, stop it. That is,
but if you think about that, that doesn't make sense because why would you go to the show if it wasn't good? Like you obviously want to go because it's good. Yeah,
that's my point.
Yeah,
it's like nobody like when the product is bad, the attendance stinks.
Right. Why would you want to go?
Right. Why would you want to go? But if it's good, like if the product stinks, nobody's going to go to the product just because you're not going to be able to see it for another year. But how would they know when they're going to get booked again? That was my other thing. It's like, dude, nobody knows the schedule. I go, they're booking like 3 months out. Like, so all all that shtick that he was giving me completely debunked, like I knew it would. And not to mention the fact that the one of the big things we argued about was I said, if WWE offered you $1 million, you go back and write for them in a heartbeat. I would never do that. And so what's he doing now for a living?
Writing for JCW, the Juggalos.
Like, dude, I tried to convince Vince that he is a writer at heart and he should continue to stay in writing. And he should take a WWE job if they offered it to him. That's what I was arguing with him. Because he's a good writer.
Yeah.
Like I've never ever been critical of any of like Vince Russo's talent. The thing he's not talented as is trying to be a podcaster and trying to and his shtick on these shows because they're wrong constantly. Like if you go back and like look at a lot of the claims they've made, I don't think any of them have come to fruition. Like not even one of them, you know? So
his new TNA book, by the way, went to #1, so he's doing good with the writing.
Yeah, he's good with it, but that's what he does. That's his calling card. He's a writer. Like he should be writing and stuff, and not hey watching WWE on podcasts every week behind a paywall.
And he did miss the bloodline, so he kind of missed a big important story.
Yeah, that's like
he never watched SmackDown.
NWO.
I'm like, come on, you know, it's like
that is true. He missed like the best stuff. He missed, technically speaking, was the bloodline for those 4 years, and anything Roman for those 4 years.
Vince would go back to WWE and write. And here's another prediction I make. Okay, he would love working with Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Wow. Even though he had Zayn derangement syndrome.
Dude, I know Vince. I know Vince more than probably the 99% of the people in this business. Okay, which is why I was very frustrated. Just listened like everything about the WWE was terrible for like so long, and he's saying, I'm like, dude, you can't possibly watch this show from what I know you and not put over some of the stuff they're doing.
Right.
I go, especially the way they're shooting. They're literally shooting these with the cinematography they're using at the shows, with one camera shots and stuff. That's right up your alley. Like you love stuff like that, finding locations to shoot at, and where it's like that's what you like. You can't even put that over. I'm thinking, it's like, come on, dude. Like so like give me a break, right?
And even when Borash, remember he shot that thing with Roman and Cody at the football stadium. Like the actual he would have loved that. Like the camera comes in, the trucks come in. They're doing the crane shot. They're doing the drone. He would love that.
He would bury the WWE stuff, okay, and probably not know that Borash was shooting it. And if he knew that Jeremy was shooting it, he'd put it over. Because he said he's Jeremy, regardless of what people think, Jeremy is a disciple of Vince Russo. I don't care what anybody says. We all know.
Yeah,
like he is. So
I don't know if Triple H wants to hear that, but yes, that's true.
It is true.
Yeah, well, the people that have worked with Vince that know that he's just been maligned by the rest of media. It's just ridiculous. The narratives, and especially and the fact that Cornette hates him, and he's got a following. Like it's created a very difficult like climate for Vince to navigate his way through because everybody's been told that he sucks. And like I said, dude, if you just let's go back to 1995 and all the prominent writers / bookers of all the companies since that time, and I go, you put their bar graph of their viewership numbers, you put all of them up. I guarantee you that Vince Russo is going to look better than anybody else's. I would bet my life on that. I would let lightning strike me dead and go to my grave if Vince Russo's bar graph of ratings viewership throughout his career did look better than every single other booker.
Yep.
Perfect
Jerry
example,
Jarrett and Lawler used to get a huge number in
No,
Memphis.
no. I'm talking about first of all, territory booking doesn't count. I'm talking since this product has gone on to national weekly live television.
World class. They were broadcasting in Israel.
So
that national weekly live
Kevin Sullivan.
weekly television on national TV is when wrestling started.
What about Sullivan, brother? What about Sullivan?
His wouldn't look good.
Oh,
his wouldn't look good. No, because his would look like you would look at his from the time before, like the intersection of where Vince was booking the WWE, where his graph was going up, would be intersecting with Sullivan's going down.
yeah, that's true.
And then Vince would go to work at WCW. Boy, sounds like, yeah, so I'm saying so.
And two, when you look at Russo, he always booked Vince McMahon. It's like Vince, he always booked Vince good. When he left, that's when Vince started doing that weird shit. So whoever was coerced, whoever was writing it was like, I don't know, they had a weird kind of sense of humor or whatever was going on. Russo never did that, but Russo always gets blamed for writing that stuff, even though he wasn't even there at that point.
Yeah,
right.
Anything bad, yeah.
Yeah.
So let me read this to you. This is from Vince's new book. Okay. He's talking about how he hooked up Bruce with TNA and how he knew it would lead to Bruce trying to get a better job.
Right.
So he says, so Bruce reached out to me via phone call, poking around, but let me be clear, never asking for a job. However, he didn't need to. I understood his position. Man, I will give you this advice until I no longer have the strength to type the words on a page. Don't ever forget those who helped you get to where you are, ever. It has happened to me over and over and over again with the Matt Conways and Jeremy Borashes of the world. I literally took these guys under my wing, taught them everything they know about TV, writing, and producing, and today, not even a blank Christmas card. I never forgot those who created and paved the road for me, whether it be Fast Eddie Ferrara, Jack Lanza, Ed Riccatut, I don't know his name, Ed, or Bruce Pritchard. So, yeah, there was a couple little snide remarks about Jeremy in there. I taught him everything, that bastard.
He didn't give Bill Watts any credit there? What's going on with that?
Did not give Bill Watts any credit there.
Wow. But which is also another weird thing, that Russo and Cornette are both disciples of Bill Watts, oddly enough.
Well, Bill wasn't there long enough to really...
No, but he was the one that brought Russo into the writing room. And
That's true, but I mean, he's only there 3 months or whatever.
Still, one thing about the thing that people don't realize about Russo is that, because I've worked with the guy, is that Vince has a lot of ideas for stories. Okay, way more than any other booker I've ever like sat with. Like Vince just is very creative about storyline, and that's my thing. It's like said, people go, oh well, I go, bro. I go, when you're on a time constraint on a weekly basis to write television, okay, often it's difficult to come up with one story. I go, so what you do is you have to start writing stories. I go, now some of the stories may not be any good. I go, but you can navigate your way on a weekly basis of write your way. Like if it's not going good, whatever, go. But bro, it's better than what you can tell a show where there's not a lot of storylines because it's just a bunch of matches, cold matches, and the guys are going out there for like 15 to 16 minutes of wrestling, which is time they could have been taken up with storylines.
Yep.
And people like there is a group of people that go, well, that was a great match. And like they think that's a good show. I'm like, it wasn't really a show. It's just like, you like the matches. Other people don't like the matches. What were the storylines and what's the hook for next week? And very often these days, it's like, especially with WWE and AEW, there's not a lot of hooks for next week.
No.
They're in a rut with storytelling because I can tell you probably in that room, there's a lot of every week, all they're worried about is like, and this is my thing that I was thinking of too. I just wonder, who are the guys, who is in charge of TKO right now, Joe? Look that up. Who are the top 4 guys at TKO?
Ari Emanuel, Mark Shapiro, Nick Khan.
Okay. I'd be willing. If you would ask me, it's like you have $100 to bet, you're either going to win or lose it. You have to bet $100 on this, and it's just could be a random thing. Mark Shapiro's kids love Danhausen. Okay, and I'm wondering if they Mark Shapiro tells the writing team, "Oh God, my kids love Danhausen." So now, because Vince is not the audience of one that the writers team is writing for. It's like you hear Mark Shapiro's kids love Danhausen, everything. So now every week now, the focus of the show is what do we do with Danhausen? And I'm just wondering if that's if that's literally why they're doing a lot of this stuff, because I can't see a room full of adults trying to book professional wrestling that is looking at this and like thinking that, okay, Danhausen's our Stone Cold Steve Austin now. You know, like seriously.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because it's for ages 5 to 12.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
it's
Nick Khan has little kids, and they're usually front row.
I mean,
at
I know
those
they're
shows.
looking at the numbers, but bro, you're looking at the merch numbers. But I'm sorry, it's like investing 4.5 hours of television each week to sell Danhausen merch. You're going to suffer in ticket sales. You're going to suffer in viewership. You're going to, but Danhausen is going to make bank. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I don't, just like Shark Boy. So when they did Shark Boy did the show, Stone Cold Shark Boy. Shark Boy was the #1 merch seller on the show.
Should have made him champ. What are you guys thinking?
Hey, we'll see how that would have gone, right? Okay, he's doing good. His merch is doing good, but that doesn't mean we're supposed to book the show around the guy because there's a certain audience of people that are buying his merch. You know, so
Dark Side of the Ring kind of buried Shark Boy. That one segment of him where he's dead and he comes back to life or whatever, and he starts doing the Austin voice.
They didn't reiterate that was the sole reason that the TNA went out of business, which I think it did. Did you see Shark Boy? Some of the comments made to Shark Boy.
Yeah, I saw you guys going.
He
back
was
and forth.
not very kind to you. I noticed.
Well, what do you think about that? For the what would you do if Jeremy Borash produced a mockumentary on the career of Glenn Gilberti and they called it the Bright Side of the Ring?
Oh, that'd be
Do you
beautiful.
think that'd be entertaining content?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
would like it. Yeah, I'd be down. Yeah.
Need at least
Bro,
four to
If
six
you had like
parts.
me and Jeremy but producing that, it would be like the funniest thing you guys have ever seen for sure. The
I
Bright
love
Side
when
of the
you were
Ring.
the gift, Glenn the gift,
Glenn the Gift Gilberti.
Yeah, I love that,
Gilbernetti. Glenn
yeah.
the Gift Gilbernetti. You know why they call me Gilbernetti?
because it was a screw up
I
for
do,
your
I do.
Georgia
Yeah,
days.
the illiterate guy that was running the show. He couldn't read and write.
Scott
He
Hudson.
was like,
Yep.
yeah, and he read my name. It said Glenn Gilberti, and when he pronounced it, he said Glenn Gilbernetti's going to be there. So it's Glenn Gilbernetti.
Wow, what an
Unbelievable.
idiot.
What a
It
jerk.
wasn't Scott Hudson. I was just kidding. I don't think it
No,
was
it
Hudson.
was Sammy.
Why do you
Kent.
hate Scott Hudson? That's not cool.
No, I love
No, I
Scott.
love-
Hudson. He's
No,
I
I
love
meant
Scott
Oz
Hudson
here.
too. No, I love Scott.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.